Welcome to ACE Engineering Academy. Today, we are presenting you the live class for the ESE Prelims Paper-1 solutions. Let's see how the questions have come in this exam. I hope you all have done your exams well, and let's see what the questions breakup is and how they have asked these questions, right? So a quick comparison. So the paper which we are seeing here is Paper-1, which is the general studies paper. And as you all know, the paper consists of 10 sections, which are all these sections. And what is the weightage that has given for this year? So if we compare it with 2020, 2021 and 2022, this year, current issues of and background concepts of national and international importance related to social, economic and industrial development, around 18 questions were asked. So it was 13 in 2020, 17 in 21 and 18 questions in 2022. And if you look at engineering aptitude, okay, before I go there, the level of difficulty when it came to current issues is somewhere between moderate to difficult. Few questions, though they were GK based questions, you cannot really predict because they were, very, very data oriented, factual oriented. However, a lot of questions were covered in the ACE online classes, in the videos. It was already covered in the Deep Learn or the ACE online classes. So that way, around 18 questions have come. If you look at engineering aptitude, the engineering aptitude questions, around 13 questions have come, and most of the questions were easy questions. There was only one difficult question, and this year around 13 questions have been asked. So again, this was a very scoring area. So 13 questions, out of these 13 questions, around 10 questions were easy, 12, 11 questions were easy. So that makes it for engineering aptitude. The third area, engineering mathematics and numerical analysis, if you see, again, around 15 questions were asked, and most of the questions were easy questions. And there were only very few which were moderate to difficult. So 15 questions, last year also there were 15 questions. Let's come to the next one, the fourth topic, which is general principles of design, drawing and safety. So design, drawing and safety, around 8 questions. In that, you had most of the questions were easy questions again. There were only very few which were difficult. In fact, one question was difficult, the others were easy, and one was moderate. So that comes to, that's about design, drawing and safety. Then let's come to the next one, which is standards and quality practices in production, construction, maintenance and services. So again, the questions here were pretty moderate. It was not very tough. And the number of questions asked were same like last year, around 7 questions were asked. Basics of energy and environment is moderate. 9 questions were asked, energy and environment. So it was moderate to difficult. A lot of conceptual based questions were asked, and the number of questions compared to last year has increased. Again, the next topic, basics of project management, if you see. So project management was easy to moderate. So most of the questions, 6 questions were asked. So you see that in 2020 there were 9 questions, it reduced to 4, and now it is again 6. So in this, most of the questions were easy and only few were moderate. So they were not difficult questions in project management. Let's come to the 8th topic, which is basics of material science and engineering. A lot of questions, I mean, if you compare it to 2020, it is reduced to half the number of questions. So 12 questions, now it is only 6 questions. And if you see in material science, it is easy to moderate. The questions were easy to moderate. One question alone was on advanced material science. That is about material science analysis. ICT questions were easy to moderate. So they were easy to moderate, around 9 questions were asked. And finally, ethics and values in engineering profession. If you see, the questions were in ethics they were logical and moderate. The level of difficulty was moderate. And some of the questions that were asked were based on philosophical theories about philosophers. So that was based on those questions. And one question was on business ethics. So this is how the breakup and the analysis of questions is. Now, we are going to see every area, each topic. The respective faculty will be doing detailed solution and analysis, right? So let me introduce you to Balraju sir, who will be taking the topic basics of project management, and he will also deal with standards and quality practices. So topic 5 and topic 7 will be dealt by Balraju sir. Sir, please join.
Dear student, welcome to ACE Online. This is Dr. G. Balaraju. I would like to present the solutions of ESE Prelims 2022 Basics of Project Management. So in total, we have 6 questions. So 2 questions are from CPM and PET. So one question related to forward pass technique, another question is crashing. And the remaining questions like WBS, and one question is related to WBS, and one question is a sacred cow. So that is like a elite stakeholder. And another question related to SICK industry, and one question related to e-government project. So in e-government project, who are the stakeholders? Just let us have the details. So coming to the first question, the term sacred cow is often used to denote the project. So when you see this particular word, sacred cow means like who is going to be treated as a god or goddess. And whatever action he is doing, so there is no criticism at all. So if there is no criticism, then we can call it as sacred. So sacred cow in any project. So definitely, what is the answer here? A powerful, high-ranking official is advocating, like justifying. So there is no more argument against that particular stakeholder. So what is the answer here? So the answer is going to be option A. So powerful, high-ranking official is advocating. So coming to the next question. Which of the following is not a condition for preferring top-down approach? Actually, we have 2 approaches, top-down approach and the bottom-up approach. In top-down approach, so generally we have strategic planning and moreover like high level, so from high level to low level. So whenever you are not sure about the things, and when in the initial stage, so we have a top-down approach. And in WBS, planning is generally done from top to bottom, but execution from bottom to top. So in the execution, what will happen? So one by one, element by element, we are going to execute. So definitely there is a need of collecting a lot of data related to activity as well as task. So then definitely we'll have more details. So bottom-up approach will have more details. So time is well known, cost is well known. So coming to this particular aspect, so in case of top-down approach, strategic decision making, yes, quite natural. In top-down approach, we have strategic decision making and high uncertainty, because when you are having some plan in the initial stage, we are not sure about the entire project. So only peripheral touch. So definitely uncertainty involved. And coming to last option, internal and small project, like a small project, so we may be having some overview, like we have top-down approach. So coming to cost and time important. So when you are very particular about cost and time, in such cases, we use bottom-up approach. So where time and cost both are well known and sure. So what is the answer here? Option B. So cost and time important. In that case, we use bottom approach, not top-down approach. Next question, network. In a project network, while estimating earliest values and latest values, we have two approaches, forward pass technique and backward pass technique. So forward pass technique is used to calculate earliest values, assuming that the project is going to start as early as possible. So in that particular case, we start the calculation from first event and we proceed and will end at the last event. So from first to last, like in the increasing mode, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like first activity, second activity, third activity. So clear cut. So what is the answer here? It starts with the first activity of the project. So answer is option A. So without thinking much, now you can choose the answer. Option A is the right answer. Coming to next question. So here sick industry. So generally we know very well, sick industry means when the industry is unable to survive. So there are many reasons. The first and foremost reason is demand. So there is no market demand, then simply we can say the industry is going to be sick because no customer. You cannot have any sales. So no sales, so no market demand, that is a clear-cut picture. And moreover, the customer is not preferring the particular brand and the competitors will have a superior quality. So in superior quality, obviously what will happen? Then naturally we may be preferring the competitors' products only. So automatically what will happen? The existing industry products are getting now no more sales and stock left over. And the industry has more and more production but no sales. So if you see the reasons, like clear cut. The first one, increase in the cost of production. So input costs are higher side. Then obviously what will happen? The industry manufacturing cost is high, means definitely the industry is going for increase the price. So increase the price, obviously what will happen? Then it is becoming now like a simply we can say sick. So input cost is more, then output cost is always definitely affected. If output cost is affected, no, then no sales. The first one. And coming to second one, decrease in the quantity of production. So when the production quantity is decreased, automatically it cannot meet the customer's demand. Then it is a failure. So there are many shortages. And coming to third one, quality of product not meeting the standards. When the standards are not met, so no more sales. So and finally the fourth one, producing more quantity that can be sold, leading to accumulation of stock, inventory, more accumulation. Then obviously it is a failure. All these are failure cases. So what is the answer here? So 1, 2, 3 and 4. So option B is the right answer for this question. And coming to next question. So which one of the following projects are those which are to be completed within a stipulated time? So when the customer is fixing some time, so within that time only the project has to be completed. So it is just like crashing. So in the crashing, the customer's due date we have to meet. So there is no botheration of project cost. Even the project cost slightly increases, no issue, because our ultimate objective is to complete the project in stipulated time. That is nothing but crash projects. So obviously answer is C. Because in project crashing we have discussed this point. And coming to next question. So this is like a statement type question. Content is the heart of any IT project. Suppose you take IT project. In IT definitely we include IT professionals because the main stakeholders are only IT professionals. The name itself IT project. Okay, just you can keep this statement aside. Look at the second statement. Implementation and maintenance of e-government projects through IT professional hired from the market is likely to result in failure of the project as the organization is bound to disown such outsiders. So this statement is totally vague because when we require expertise, So definitely we consult different groups. The stakeholder, the participant in the project need not be from the same organization. So definitely the project stakeholder could be outsider. Now this statement is totally controversial. Actually outside professional are not included in the government project. It is totally wrong, because so many government projects we have seen. There are so many IT companies are developing the softwares for the government projects. So this is wrong. If this is wrong, definitely the first one is correct. So what is the answer here? Option C. So this is regarding basis of project management. So coming to next, quality standards. Just let us a small break and we'll have the quality standards. The octet. So next, quality standards. So in quality standards, so we have almost straightforward questions. So when you refer ESE Academy material, almost you can find straight away 3-4 questions in the material itself, in the front pages. So just let us have the questions. The first question, so which of the following are the elements of TQM? So it is totally controversial. So TQM elements means like we have a big list, but we use elimination criteria. So the best strategy, elimination criteria. So don't think that all options must be included. Okay, so there's a wrong notion. Okay, when you see this strong division of labor, actually division of labor you cannot find in TQM policy. So in TQM training, okay, that is there, but division of labor never be highlighted anywhere. Okay, so this may be irrelevant. And coming to result-oriented management. So nowhere it is mentioned, result-oriented management. So finally what we can say, these 3 and 4 you can exclude. When you exclude these 3 and 4, so what would be the answer here? A. So option A. 1 and 2 only. So this is regarding TQ. Next question, quality characteristics. So in quality characteristics, so we know that sensory characteristics like a visual, color, order, taste, structural characteristics like dimensions, size, shape, statistical characteristics, it is nowhere concerned. It is simply we can eliminate. So this is there, structural is there, and time oriented, because when you are talking about product, the product could be service also. So time is important. So what are the characteristics in a quality? Sensory type, structural type, time oriented, even ethical type also. But you cannot find statistical. So what is the answer here? Third one you can eliminate. So if you eliminate third one, no, obviously what will happen? So this is third you can eliminate. And we know that 1, 2, 4. So option D. Option D is the right answer for this question. Next. So what are the major categories of quality cost? Of course, this is very, very simple question, because we know quality costs are 4 types. Number 1, prevention cost, appraisal cost, internal failure cost, external failure cost. Prevention cost, appraisal cost, internal failure. So which is missing? No, external failure is missing. But he is mentioned production cost. This production cost is nowhere concerned to quality cost. So what is the answer here? Third one you can eliminate. So 1, 2 and 4. So 1, 2 and 4, option B is the right answer. So straight away. And this is well known to you. Next, this could be somewhat lengthy, but however it is easy only. If you know the standard definitions, you can answer this particular question. The first one is ATI. So here ATI, so what is the concept of ATI? This is a keyword, rectifying inspection. So when you find some non-conformities, then there is a need of rectifying inspection when the lot is rejected. So this is the concept of ATI. So this is correct, because I use a keyword rectifying. Whenever ATI is definition, if it is standard definition, you can find this rectifying inspection. Next, coming to the second statement, average sample number. So when you conduct a sampling in the series, like a sequential. So you can find so many samples. Then finally what you will do, average sample number you will find out. So what is the keyword here? No, sequence or series. Just see here, average number of items inspected to make a decision is the average sample number. So this is correct. And coming to third one, average quality level of a series of batches that leave the inspection station after coming for inspection set, and quality level is the average outgoing quality limit. So AOQL, according to AOQL concept, so whenever you find any non-conformities, those non-conformities are subjected to 100% inspection. Then after 100% inspection, only defect-free things, only conformities are included. That is the concept of AOQL. So what is the keyword is in this AOQL? 100% inspection of non-conformities. So obviously this is wrong statement. So what is the answer here? 1 and 2. Option A. Third one is absolutely wrong. Next, objectives of quality management. Like these kind of questions, good things we can keep directly. So objectives of any management, always managing good things only. Now look at the statements. Organization should achieve and sustain quantity of the product so as to continually meet the purchase stated and implied needs. So what are the keywords here? Implied needs, fitness for intended use, fitness for the purpose, and relations, good relations with vendors, good relation with the customers. These are the keywords. So with this I can say it is a correct statement. The organization should provide confidence to its own management. It is obviously because always the success is in hands of like a team spirit, and moreover, if they maintain quality in the industry, then only they can have the quality outside. So it is like own team development and even teamwork, and always we have to maintain quality in the industry. This is correct. Third one, organization should provide confidence to the purchaser. Like we know ISO 9000 series standards. What is the main purpose of any standard? Assurance. We are giving assurance. ISO 9001 certified or else ISI mark. It is clearly indicating that I am maintaining quality. Then definitely the customer will prefer it. So this is correct. So what could be the answer here? All the three statements are correct. So where we have all these things? Option D. So we can choose option D. Next, trial runs are recommended for which of the following reasons? Like a trial run, 100% inspection is not possible, and when you are conducting any study or validation and verification, generally we have only trial runs. So based on trial runs, we will have the final results. So the very purpose of trial run provide an opportunity to remedy the situation during the experiment. When you are doing experiment, we conduct some trials, and when you get success results or when you have it, then we can proceed. So this is correct. Trial runs provide a final chance to fine tuning. Yeah, for the sake of tuning, definitely the trial runs are useful. Trial runs provide a chance to make any changes, like modifications are possible. Okay, then we can have it. Trial runs can help considerably for estimating the time to complete a run. Logistical support, this is also correct. So simply we can say trial run is meant for only getting the improvement. So what is the answer here? Option A. Coming to last question in quality. Which one of the following is not a source of variation present in the every process of construction? So in the construction, the equipment, material, environment and specifications. Actually when you get any variation, how the variation generally occurs? Due to equipment or due to material or due to environmental effects, like seasonal variations. But the specifications never be affecting the, it never causes any variation. So what is the answer here? Option D. So with this I can conclude the quality, and of course all these questions are you can answer comfortably. Next my colleague Madhushekar will continue.
Yeah, I'm going to discuss about basics of material science subject. The questions asked for ESE 2022. Now, especially from this subject, 6 questions were asked, and out of these 6 questions, some are easy and some are moderate, and there is one advanced material also. We will see those questions. Now, see here, the first question, which one of the following is not a classification of microscopic diffusion? So, what do you mean by the diffusion? Diffusion is a transfer of mass from high concentration level to low concentration level. Now, here, interdiffusion takes place between the alloys of A and B. Copper nickel example you can take, where the diffusion of copper atoms into the nickel atoms into the copper. And vacancy diffusion takes place by diffusion of atom from its original position to some other place. And surface diffusion means what? Diffusion of atoms, some group of atoms moving on the surface. And lattice diffusion, that is nothing but a bulk diffusion or volumetric diffusion, in that some bulk number of atoms, they are moving from one place to other place. So here we can say interdiffusion and vacancy diffusion, these two are microscopic diffusion processes, and surface diffusion and lattice diffusion, these two are macroscopic process. But out of these two are the correct one. These two are not microscopic diffusion process, and out of these two you can take C and D as the answer, but most weightage I will give you especially for this question is D. Lattice diffusion, that is a volumetric diffusion, right? Now this is the second question that is related to the polymer, especially the crystal structure of a semi-crystalline polymer. Okay, semi-crystalline polymer is the type of structure is a spherulite structure. Now see here, initially the nucleation is formed in the polymer material, then after that dendritic growth takes place, then after that elongation of our grain growth takes place, or growth of polymer chains takes place. This we call it as a spherulite structure. So semi-crystalline polymer structure is a spherulite crystal structure. Now see here, this is another basic type of question actually. Positive and negative ions, by virtue of their net electrical charges, attract one another. These attractive bonding forces are, see, very simple. If you take sodium chloride, now see here, a sodium chloride structure, a cation and anion, both are attracted by Coulombic forces. So this is a very simple question here, okay? Negative charge and positive charge ions are attracted by a Coulombic forces. So direct question answer for this question is A. Now the next question, the process by which plastic deformation is produced by dislocation motion. So dislocation motion is nothing but a slip. Now see here this is a dislocation motion, right? Dislocation. Now by applying force to this material, the dislocation is moving from atomic plane A to B and B to C. Here it is moving, right? This is nothing but a slip. Slip is nothing but a dislocation movement in an easy manner that require low energy. Now see, this is a edge dislocation and this is screw dislocation. That movement, this movement here it is known as a slip. So the correct answer for this question is C. So simple, the dislocation motion is nothing but a slip. Right, next, another question. A stereoisomerism denotes the situation in which atoms are linked together. So they are asking simply in a simple way, stereoisomerism means what? Stereoisomerism. So stereoisomerism means same chemical formula but with a different orientation of these components, right? Same chemical formula with a different orientation of these forms. So here like you can take this one. Okay, you can take this one. This is, I am considering one chemical formula. I can arrange this one in a different way also. Okay, like that. This is stereoisomerism. The chemical composition is same, right? But there is a spatial arrangement is different. So out of these 4 options, same order but different in the spatial arrangement. Okay, now same order but different in their spatial arrangement. So 25th question answer for this question answer is C. Right. And the last one, some of the complex thermoplastic chains become so stiff that they act as rigid rods even when they are heated above the melting point, right? These materials are, this advanced question actually here, this question answer is liquid crystalline material. Now for example, you take a best example of liquid crystalline material, one example, Kevlar. It is used to make a bulletproof jacket and aerospaces, and these materials won't burn easily. Okay, if you want to burn this material, you should supply some extra oxygen level, so they won't burn even by heating the material above melting point temperature, and they are having very high strength. That's why these materials are especially used for defense application purpose. So liquid crystalline polymer is the answer for this question. Next, so these are some of the questions related to basics of material science. Next, our colleague Sam sir will continue.
So good evening friends, welcome to ESE Academy. Today we are here to give the detailed solutions of today's paper, the Paper-1 General Principles of Design, Drawing and Importance of Safety. So first we would like to take up the first part, that is Principles of Design and Drawing. So if you try to see here, we have about 5 questions from this particular topic. Out of the 5 questions we have, normally all 5 questions are supposed to be very straightforward and simple from the basic principles. So if I try to again give the weightage to all the 5 questions in this particular one. So out of the 5 questions, 3 questions are straightforward from the basic principles of drawing, and the remaining 2 are related to the projections of planes and others. Okay, let me first start with the first question in this particular one. It is continuous, thin, narrow with zigzag straight lines are generally used to represent. So what exactly he means to say is, say if you have a very thin line, so if I have a very thin line, like this, so this thin line followed by a zigzag line like this. So what is exactly it means? So this is the first basic principles of drawing here, as actually this symbol actually represents a long dimensions which cannot be included in the one. So if we try to see here, so when the dimensions are exceeding the drawing paper size, then we use this kind of representation. A thin line with the zigzags will be used for representing the long break lines. Hidden line will be indicated by what you call it as a dotted line. Visible outline is a thick line. A reference line is also a very thin line. So normally the answer for this particular one is the first question, which is a straight question here. Let us move to the next question. So the next question here is, when the receding lines are drawn to full size scale and the projectors inclined at an angles of 30 degrees or 45 degrees or 60 degrees to the plane of projection, such oblique projection is known as. So again, this question is related to the projection of the objects. But in the projection, we have three different planes: vertical plane, horizontal plane, and a profile plane. And the object is placed in such a way, so in this particular one, so what is the projectors are? Generally the projectors are supposed to be perpendicular to the vertical plane or horizontal plane or the profile plane. But here we can see here it is clearly said that these are at 30 degrees or 45 degrees or 60 degrees to the projection. So when these are there, so horizontal projection, it is perpendicular to the HP plane, so this is not the correct. Vertical projection, the projectors are perpendicular to the vertical plane, which is also not correct. Now we have two things. Here the left out is cabinet projection and cavalier projection. So both are related to this particular only, but the difference between cabinet projection and cavalier projection is, in case of cabinet projection and cavalier projections, here we said drawn to full size. When they are drawn to full size, it is the cavalier projection. If they are reduced in size, then it is cabinet projection. So it is not cabinet projection, then the right answer for this particular one is, it is the cavalier projection. So it is basically a very basic concept related to this particular one. And the next one is, which one of the Western of the following statement is correct about oblique projections? So obviously oblique projections, when we take the oblique projections, in case of oblique projections, the projected plane is neither parallel to the vertical plane nor to the horizontal plane, but it is inclined to the plane. When projector is inclined to the plane is inclined, you will not get the true sizes, and the shape will also be distorted in this particular one. So here the object is drawn with the reduced dimensions, but not necessarily 82%. So it all depends on what is the oblique projection which we are taking. When it is not that particular one, so obviously 82% as specific is not the correct option. All the faces of the objects are disturbed in the shape and size. Obviously it is going to be disturbed, but however, okay, if depending on the oblique angle, so it is not necessarily to have all the faces to be distorted. When something is there, so it should be, it is not the correct one. So the next one is, projector from an object are parallel to each other and perpendicular to the plane of picture. So picture is also not one. If it is plane of the projector, then probably it is correct. Now the faces of the object which are perpendicular to the plane of projection will be distorted. So this would be the right answer here. So if you go by this, the correct answer here is, it is going to be the D option. The faces of object which are perpendicular to the planes of projection will be distorted in shape and size. And the next question is, which one of the following method is used when non-isometric lines or their ends lie in isometric plane? So when you take the option, actually the isometric planes are, when you take the general paper, these three which are at 30 degrees to this, so these are called isometric axis, and these planes we call them as isometric planes. So when you take isometric planes, so he says that the line is isometric lines or then ends lies in the isometric, means either the point lies here or the straight line lies here. When these are here, the method which is used to draw the isometric projection in this particular one is, it is the box method. Intersection method, coordinate method, offset method are not used for this particular one. So these are the 5 questions we got from the first part of the principles of design and drawing. So now we have finished out of the 5 questions. Really they are simple, and we have all the 5 questions here. If a line is perpendicular, the last question is, if a line is perpendicular to the vertical plane, means you can consider this as vertical plane. If the line is perpendicular to the vertical plane, so it is almost like this particular one. And VT coincides with its front view, which is a point. Then if I want to have the vertical trace, VT stands for vertical trace, which is extension of the line onto the vertical plane. When it is on the plane, so it is automatically, if it is to be a point, the line should be perpendicular to the vertical plane. When it is perpendicular and parallel to the plane, so automatically there won't be any horizontal trace, means the line doesn't intersect the horizontal plane. This is how the options for this question here. And this ends the first part of principles of drawing. And the next part is the principles of design and drawing. Yeah, friends, let us continue with the second part of principles of design and drawing and importance of safety. So the continuation of these questions will be, so now this is purely related to decisions of principles part. Which of the following factors are included in the realization, in the product realization process? So basically this particular one is related to, this particular one is, so this part is related to product realization process. So it is going to be one of the part of design life cycle. In the design life cycle, so what are the stages in design life cycle, which he is going to explain here? Marketing functions to assess customer requirements. So any design is for a customer. So when the design is for customers, so we need to assess the customer's requirements. So obviously this will be first or one of the part of product realization process, and the next one is documentation of the design. So when does the documentation comes into picture is once the design solutions are achieved and the design is realizable. That means we are talking about realization of the product. When the product is to be realized, it should be documented. So obviously this is required. And legal requirement, this is also required, this is also required. Legal requirements, it is all related to the development and the product with the customers. So obviously in the realization probably this is not required. So obviously this is 1 and 2, marketing as well as the documentation is part of the product realization process. And the next question is, in general, which one of the following is not included in the list of parts of the bill of materials in drawing materials? Actually, it is asked in the drawing sheets. When the product is finally completed, in the drawing sheet we try to include part number, Prod number will be included, material name will be included, quantity will be included, but not the cost. So obviously cost will not be included in this particular one as per this. So the one which is not going to be included in the bill of materials in engineering drawing sheets is going to be the cost. That is the second question. And the next one is, these are the options generally we have in any paper for the statement 1 and statement 2 types of questions. And actually the statement we have is, the first statement says the drawings and machining processes can be automated using CAD/CAM, change the primary function of these drawings and processes. So obviously the CAD/CAM, which is the automation of all the things in a drawing, from conceptualization to the delivery to the things. So obviously, which is a automation of the process. So obviously statement 1 is itself is a correct statement. And when comes to the second statement, the primary function is to provide information about product to the designers and production people. So obviously one of the requirement of CAD/CAM automation is finally it is to be produced. When it is to produce, so maybe on some machinery we will be trying to produce it. So for production, what is the code required and others will be generated using CAD/CAM, and which is also for the people who are the designers who are in the workshop and others. So this statement is also correct. So obviously statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is also correct, and as per this particular one, statement itself 1 is correct and 2 is also the correct explanation for this one. So if you go by this particular one, so as per this, both statement 1 and statement are individually true, and statement 2 is the correct explanation of statement 1. So obviously its option will be the option A will be for this part one. So total from principles of design and drawing and safety, we have 8 questions, which is 1 question extra than last year, and obviously it has its weightage in this one. Thank you for this. And my next, it will be continued by Professor Desai.
Greetings, my dear friends. I am Desai, discussing about the key for ethics and values, part of general studies in ESE 22. There were 8 questions from this domain. We will go through each one of them quickly. First one, question number 36, I am discussing about questions from set A. Question number 36, consider the following statements regarding engineers as responsible experimenters. We know that engineering is an experiment on the society. Let us see these statements. It includes a conscientiousness commitment to live by moral values. Yes, engineer lives by moral values. His decision making goes beyond what is taught in the college, what is practiced by the rules and regulations of the organization. His conscientiousness is very important. It is true statement. Let us see the question. Right. It can be accountable for the results of the project. Yes. What are the consequences of project? Engineer is responsible very much. It restricts a free personal involvement in all steps of the project or product development. Definitely not. Restriction is unbounded for engineer. Engineer is responsible for every aspect of product since its conception to usage and service by the engineer to the public. It includes constant awareness of the progress of the experiment and readiness to monitor the side effects, if any. Definitely, once again, true statement. Now let us see, there are 3 statements true and one statement that is false in this. What is the question? Which of the above statements are correct? So obviously the answer is C, 1, 2 and 4, 3 being eliminated. We'll go to the next question, please. Which one of the following is not included in Nussbaum's basic human functional capabilities? Nussbaum is a philosopher, and he is a philosopher in the line of thinking of Aristotelian theory of virtues and ethics, right? Being able to live a human life of normal length, being able to use senses, imagine, think and reason, being able to laugh, play and enjoy recreational activities, and being able to earn livelihood and live peacefully. Of all these statements, we have to find out the negative statement. In this ESE examination, we are seeing more questions with negative connotations. Not is to be identified, right? Now we see, let's say this is from philosophical, it is from philosophical background, right? And let's say that we don't know what the answer is. None of the virtues or none of the philosophers talk about livelihood in their theories. So by default, even if I assume that I have not studied this topic, logically thinking, I can go by D as the answer. So the correct answer is being able to earn livelihood. Livelihood earning is one's capability in terms of work, right? All ethical theories, all moral theories focus on character development, individual development, but not on the livelihood, right? So D is the correct answer. Next question we take. Which of the following is not a type of virtue for responsible professionalism? Aristotle proposed 5 virtues for professionalism. Of them, public-spirited virtues, where profession should focus towards serving the public. Certain attributes, certain qualities are defined in it. It is true. Teamwork virtue, definitely engineers work in a team, in an organization, and they work for the public. Teamwork virtues also should be there. Self-realization virtue and self-direction virtue are the next ones. Self-direction virtues, self-focused and monitoring oneself with certain attributes is also part of Aristotelian virtues for professionalism. Self-realization virtue is actually one's own realization about happiness, which is the basic proposal made by Aristotle. So C is the correct answer. Next one. Which one of the following is not Davis' 8 moral tests? Davis is another philosopher who has proposed 8 moral tests to test whether a decision making is in the right direction or not. Of these, virtue test is not the correct answer. We have to find not. Harm test is there, whether it harms, whether my decision harms someone, public. Acceptability, whether my decision will be accepted by the public or colleagues. And professional test, as a professional, have I taken right decision is another one. Virtue is a quality, character to be practiced. There is no test for that. So C is the correct answer. Next one, arrange the following in hierarchical order suggested by Carroll's in the 4-part model of corporate social responsibility. Carroll proposed corporate social responsibility traits in the order. There are 4 orders. Highest is actually the economic. Second one is legal. Third one is ethical. And fourth one is philanthropic or welfare based. The option will be D. The next question. Engineers for a sustainable world meant for using professional talents to create more sustainable world was founded. And this is a non-profit organization which is headquartered at Fishburg, and it was started in 2001. It has 50 branches, and from colleges and universities, professors and students are members of this. It was founded in 2001. Presently, it is in Fishburg headquarters. Next one, which one of the following does not come under business ethics? This question is on business ethics. Avoid breaking the law? No. Business ethics is about following the laws and doing the business. Second one, avoid actions that are bad for one's image. Let's see. Avoid action. What type of action? Decisions or business based actions that could harm others. That is also correct. And avoid conflict. At any cost, conflict should be avoided. So the correct answer is avoid actions that are bad for one's image. That's it. The last question, which of the following principles refers to whom may be affected by the actions of the company that affect health, safety or the environment and refrain from taking reprisals against employees? The essence of this question is, if one of the employees sees unethical or illegal practices going on in an organization and that employee brings it to the notice of the management, what section, what is the principle it is? What the principle it is? It is actually the other way of telling whistleblowing. The correct answer is informing the public. Is covered under informing public, and organization will give protection. That's all from my side. The next topic would be taken by Professor Shiva Prasad on ethics and environment and energy. Thank you.
See these students, first question regarding to the environment. The international disputes about modern environmental movement begin with the publication of Silent Springs. And the answer for this question is Rachel Carson. This book was released in 1962 itself, and the book is regarding to the effect of pollutants on environment. So, okay, no? So that is what. Next one is, which of the following is not a principle of CERES? CERES means Coalition for Environmentally Responsible Economical Societies. And under these students, it is an NGO organization and it is a non-profit organization. This organization has framed 10 principles, and what they are asking is which is not a principle, and controlled production is not a principle of these CERES students. Remaining all are there. There are 10 principles regarding to this. And next one is, largest tidal range in the world is confined to the Bay of Fundy region, Ugwa Bay, Bristol Channels, Toragain arm of Cook Inlet students. This is answer is regarding to this Bay of Fundy in Canada. So that is the area where highest tidal ranges are seen, and these tides, you know that these are produced due to the gravitational pull of moon and sun. So moon has a huge impact on the formation of tide students. Generally tides are known as heart of the earth. Okay, now next one is heartbeats of the earth, we can call it as tides. Next one is, another question is, friends, Kyoto Protocol operationalizes the United Nations Framework Convention on. So Kyoto Protocol is under UNFCCC, and this UNFCCC will take care of what means climate change and global warming, students. So answer is C for this. Okay, now, and next one is, according to the Carson, which of the following approaches argues the nature as intrinsic value, we should protect it because of this value. So what is intrinsic value means? So it can be, generally it will be assessed in terms of what means economic values. Okay, now, like it is like a liquid assets like that. Generally, we have, for production of nature, most of the people might have been confused with instrumental approach, anthropological approaches. So no doubt that anthropological approach means humans are taking care of environment, protecting the nature, everything we are doing is. But exact answer for this is instrumental approach, friends. Why? Because this instrumental approach itself includes anthropological approach, ethical values. Okay, now next one is, other than this, aesthetic values. Like this, every value is present in this instrumental approach. Hence, we can take answer as an instrumental approach, friends. And next one is, so the Gia's hypothesis, which suggests the earth should be seen as a single organism, was devised by. So Gias is the Greek goddess, students. So this Gia's hypothesis is regarding to what means, they are saying that earth is like a living entity, and where largest means it is the area which supports life, and there is a continuous interactions between the life as well as inorganic components. That is what Gia's hypothesis speaks about. Okay, now, and this Gia's hypothesis was brought by James Lovelock, students. Okay, now, that is what regarding to this 13th question answer is James Lovelock. It is an hypothesis. Next one is, another one is, energy used by the man does not originate from which of the following sources, students? So energy used by man means it may be of electrical energy, it may be of heat energy, like this different types of energies are there, different forms of energies are there. Among all the forms, radiant energy means electromagnetic radiations. Radiant energy we get it from sun, solar energy we can take it as. Next one is geothermal energy, heat energy that is produced from the interior layers of earth crust, which is used for production of electricity. Frictional energy, and next one is gravitational energy. Gravitational energy we are using it, friends. Gravitational energy we are using it for the means tides. As I told you, that tidal energy is produced because of this gravitational energy only. When it comes to this frictional energy, students, currently we are not using frictional energy for any other purposes, but there is advanced technology regarding to the frictional energy that we call it as piezoelectronics. But according to the question, answer is frictional energy, students. You can go through this. And next one is, see this. So the same question. So these are the topics related to the energy and environment. And next session will be continued by the Dr. AVS Prasad garu, and he's a mathematical engineering topic he will handle.
Hi, I am going to solve engineering mathematics questions given in this prelims paper 2022. This year 14 questions were asked from mathematics. Let's see the questions. This is the first question. The value of inverse Laplace transform of 5s square plus 8s minus 1 by s plus 3 into s square plus 1 is what? See, how do we solve this one? By using the partial fractions. Look at. So 5s square plus 8s minus 1 by s plus 3 into s square plus 1 can be written as a by s plus 3 plus, this is an irreducible quadratic factor, so we write bs plus c by s square plus 1, right. So by simplifying we get 5s square plus 8s minus 1 equal to a into s square plus 1 plus bs plus c into s plus 3 only, right. So we can do, right, by substituting put s equal to minus 3, means you are required to find a, b and c values. So by substituting s equal to minus 3, it is going to be, this term is 0 and this one is left hand side, look at 5 into minus 3 whole square, 9 5s are 45, so 45 minus 24 minus 1 equal to a into this is what, minus 3 whole square means 9, 9 plus 1 10, so 10, this is 0 only. So this is 20 equal to a into 20, so that implies a into 10 this is, so that implies a equal to 2 only, so a value 2. Next, b and c are required, right. To get b and c values, comparing s square coefficients of s square on both sides. So see once, left hand side 5, so here 5. Alright, coming to right hand side, a. Next, s square into a, so here bs plus c into s. So bs into s means b. B into s square, so right hand side a plus b. Right? So this is going to be a equal to b equal to 5 minus a only, so b value 3 only. Right. Next, c value is required. So to get c value, comparing constant terms or equating constant terms. Left hand side constant is what? Minus 1. Okay, so minus 1. Coming to right hand side, c into, right, a here, so a into s square plus 1, so a, and here c into 3, 3c only. Okay, so a value is what? Already 2, a is already 2, so this is going to be minus 1 equal to 2 plus 3c only, so that implies c equal to minus 1 only. Okay, c equal to minus 1 only. So finally the function can be expressed as, look at, so this is going to be s square plus 8s minus 1 by s plus 3 into s square plus 1 is equivalent to a value 2, so 2 by s plus 3, b value 3, c value 1, so 3s minus 1, so plus 3s minus 1 by s square plus 1 only. So by applying inverse Laplace transform on both sides, inverse Laplace transform of 5s square plus 8s minus 1 by s plus 3 into s square plus 1 is equivalent to left hand side, right hand side this one. So this can be written as, okay, So this is going to be L inverse of 2 by S plus 3 plus 3 into L inverse of S by S square plus 1 minus L inverse of 1 by S square plus 1 only. So this is going to be finally 2 into e power minus 3t plus 3 into S by S square plus 1 is cos t minus sin t only. So which option? So option A is going to be correct answer. Am I right? Let's see the next question. What is the Laplace transform of 2 e power 3t 4 cos 2t minus 5 sin 2t? Right. First, Laplace transform of 4 cos 2t minus 5 sin 2t is equivalent to. We know that it is going to be 4 into cos 2t means 2 by s square plus 4 minus 5 into Laplace transform of sin 2t is Laplace of cos 2t is what? S by s square plus 4 minus 5 into Laplace transform sin 2t is what? 2 by s square plus 4 only. Right. So right hand side. Next one is, what is the required value? You are required to find the Laplace transform of e power 3t into something, right? So Laplace transform of 2 times Laplace transform of 2 times e power 3t into 4 cos 2t minus 5 sin 2t is required. So this is equal to 2 times. Replace s by s minus 3. So therefore, s minus 3 by 2 into, this is 4 times, s minus 3 by s minus 3 whole square plus 4 minus 5 into 2 by s minus 3 whole square plus 4 only. So by simplifying, the answer is going to be option D is the correct answer. That is 8s minus 44 by s square minus 6s plus 13 only. Let's see the next question. A batch of 100 capacitors contains 73 which are within the required tolerance values, 17 which are below the required tolerance values, and remaining are above the required tolerance values. What is the probability that when randomly selecting a capacitor and then a second capacitor, if both are within the required tolerance values when selecting with replacement? So see once here, so 2 capacitors are to be selected with one after all with replacement. So here how many, right? Capacitors are under tolerance 73, right? So therefore with replacement means what? That is 73 by 100 into 73 by 100 only. So 73 means what? 5329. So 5329 by, right? This is equivalent to 0.5329 only. So option B is the correct answer. Right. Let's see the next question. The value of integral 0 to 4 root over 16 minus x square dx is what? We can apply direct formula or substitution technique also. Right. So we can put here x equal to 4 sin theta. Right. When x equal to 4 sin theta, dx is going to be 4 into cos theta and d theta. Right. So this is when limits are x equal to 0, that implies when x equal to 0, 4 sin theta equal to 0, so sin theta equal to 0, that is theta equal to 0. Next, when x equal to 4, right, this is 4 equal to 4 sin theta means sin theta equal to 1, that is theta equal to 5 by 2. So this integral is going to be integral 0 to pi by 2 by substituting these 0 to pi by 2. This is root over 16 minus x square, that is 16 minus 16 sin square theta, that is 4 cos theta. And dx means what? Dx is 4 cos theta again, so 4 cos theta d theta. So this is going to be 4 16 integral 0 to pi by 2. This is cos square theta only, so cos square theta means we can write 1 plus cos 2 theta by 2 dt only. So 16 by 2 means 8 only. So 1 plus we can write this one as 0 to pi by 2, or directly we can write, look at. So 8 into, right? 16 by 2, 8. 1 into dt means 1 into d theta means theta only. Next, integral of cos 2 theta is plus sin 2 theta by 2 only, with the limit 0 to pi by 2 only. C1's upper limit is 8 into pi by 2. Okay? Sin 2 pi by 2 means sin 2 pi minus sin 0. So this term 0. Lower limit is whole thing is 0 only. So finally, what is the answer? It is going to be 4 pi only. So which option? Option D is the correct answer. C1's the procedure, right? So by substituting, or we can apply a direct formula also. Look at the value of integral 0 to 2 3x by root over 2x square plus 1 dx is, we have a formula, right? The standard formula is integral of f power n of x into f dash of x dx equal to f power n plus 1 by n plus 1 only, right? So I am going to use this formula to solve this problem. Look at, so here 2x square derivative is 4x. So I am going to write this one as integral 0 to 2 4x. So here 3 by 4. It remains same only, no change. Into 1 by root out 2x square plus 1 can be written as 2x square plus 1 whole power minus 1 by 2 only into dx. Right, compare with the above formula. So this is going to be 3 by 4 into, by that formula n value is what here? Minus 1 by 2. So 2x square plus 1 whole power minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 means 1 by 2 only, by 1 by 2 only, between limits 0 to 2 only. So this is going to be 3 by 4 and 2 means what? This is 1 by 2 means 2 only, so this is 3 by 2 only, right? 3 by 2 into, upper limit is 2. 2 into 2 square 4, that is 8. 8 plus 1 9. Root over 9 means 3 only, because in the question you can observe once you have specified that take positive value of square roots only. So 3 only, right? Next, minus lower limit, x value 0. X value 0 means what? 0 plus 1 under root 1 means 1 only. So therefore 2 to cancel, by final answer is what? 3 only. So which option? Right, option C. Right. Let's see the next question. By integration, the area bounded by the three straight lines y equal to 4 minus x, y equal to 3x and 3y equal to x is what? Right. See the rough sketch for this to find the area. What the, right? We can, right. Y equal to 3x line. So passing through origin with slope m. So this is y equal to 3x line. And next one is 3y equal to x. Second line 3y equal to x. That is y equal to x by 3. So this is y equal to x by 3. Okay. And the third one is what? Y equal to 4 minus x. Y equal to 4 minus means what? X plus y equal to 4. When x equal to 0, y value 4. When y equal to 0, x value 4. So the line is, so this is 4 comma 0. This is 0 comma 4. Okay. So required area is area of this triangle only. This shaded part. So this is 0 comma 0 only, right? This is intersect point of y equal to 3x line, and this line is what? X plus y equal to 4. Right. So this is intersect point of y equal to 3x and x plus y equal to 4. So when y equal to 3x, this is 4x equal to 4, x equal to 1, and y value is 3, 1 comma 3. Similarly, this is the point, intersect point of what lines? Y equal to x by 3 and x plus y equal to 4. You can solve this one. This is 3 comma 1. So this is 0, 0. So we want the area of the triangle with vertices 0, 0 and 1 comma 3 and 3 comma 1. So integration is not required. Simply we can find the area. So we know that the formula for area of a triangle with vertices x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3 is what? So required area equal to half into determinant of, the formula is x1, y1, 1, x2, y2, 1, x3, y3, 1. This is the formula of area of a triangle. So here 1 by 2 into x1 you can take any one of them. So 0, 0, 1. Next one is 3, 1, 1. Next 1, 3, 1. So clearly the area is going to be 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 into this is determinant of this one is what? You can 1 minute, right? So you can determinant of this one is what? 3, 9 minus 1 is 8 only. So this is 8 only. 8 by 2 equal to 4 units only. Okay. So this is the required area of the triangle, required area formed by the 3 lines x plus y equal to 4 and y equal to 3x and y equal to x by 3. So area is, we know that area is, we express the area like square units. So better to write here 4 square units. Okay. Right. So answer is 4 only. Right. So, the remaining problems will be solved by my colleague Aditya Srinivas sir. Sir, welcome. Please continue the session.
Now look at this question. ln 1 plus x by 1 minus x. What are they asking? They are asking the power series. Now what we do is, this is like log a by b. Log a by b can be written as log a minus log b. So in the first step, I write like this, log 1 plus x minus log 1 minus x. Now we all know log 1 plus x expansion. So it is like this, x minus x square by 2 plus x cube by 3 minus x power 4 by 4 and so on, and then minus log 1 minus x. Little careful, log 1 minus x has a minus here. So it's like this, minus of, okay, minus of x plus x square by 2 plus x cube by 3 and so on. So do you see any terms getting cancelled? So look at this, this is minus x square by 2 and then this is minus of minus which is plus and then x square by 2. They get cancelled. So this is cancelled, this is cancelled. Likewise, even powers get cancelled. Now see what is left. What is left? X minus of minus x, that is x plus x is 2x. X cube by 3 plus x cube by 3, 2x cube by 3. In every term, 2 is common. So it's 2 times x and then plus x cube by 3 and then and so on. So do you have any options this way, right? 2 times x plus x cube by 3 plus x power 5 by 5 and so on. So the answer for this is option C. Let's go to the next question. The mean value of y, some function is given between minus 1 and 2. Okay. So how do you find the mean value? They have given you an interval like this, minus 1 and 2, and some function is given. How do you find the mean value? We integrate that and divide by the interval length. So you just integrate that and divide by the interval length. So let's integrate that. So it's minus 1 to 2. It is 3x square plus 4x plus 1 into what? Dx. Whole divided by the interval length. So it's 2 minus of minus 1. So now you integrate it. It's 3x cube by 3, that is simply x cube plus 2x square plus x whole divided by 3, and the limits are minus 1 to 2. Substitute the limits. So if you substitute the limits, what do you get? So it's 8 here and then again 8 plus 2 minus 1 I have to substitute. So it's minus 1 plus 2 minus 1. So this cancels. This is this and this also cancels. 16. Oh, let's see what cancels. So minus 1 is minus 2. So this is cancels. What we left is this. That is 16 plus 2 is 18. 18 by 3 is 6. Let's see whether do we have such option. So yes, it's 6. We have that option. So the answer for this question is 6. Let's go to the next problem. So in this problem, what are they asking? X is given, that is 2 cos cube theta, y is 2 sin cube theta, and theta is given from 0 to pi by 2. They are asking you the length of the curve. We have a standard formula for this. The length of the curve is, the limits are given, so it's 0 to pi by 2 root of dx by d theta whole square plus dy by d theta whole square, okay, so into d theta. Okay, so let's see what would be the length. For that we need what is dx by d theta, dy by d theta. So what is dx by d theta? Okay, dx by d theta. You need to differentiate x. So differentiation of this gives you 6 cos square theta into the derivative of this, which is minus sin theta, and then this is dx by d theta and then dy by d theta. So what is dy by d theta? So it's again 6 sine square theta into cos theta. Now remember, we need to substitute their squares. So let's substitute their squares. So when you substitute their squares, let's see what's the answer. So it's 0 to pi by 2 root of dx by d theta whole square. So we get 36 here, and then cos power 4, okay, cos power 4 sine square, okay, plus again 36, and then what? Sine power 4 cos power what? 2, and then d theta out, okay. So what's common here? 36 is common. When that comes out, it becomes 6. Sine square and cos square also common. So when they come out of the square root, it's like this, 6. So sine square and cos square comes, so it's sine theta into cos theta. What is left in the, like, under the root? So I think it's cos square theta plus sine square theta is left, which is 1, okay, which is 1. So you just have to integrate this from 0 to pi by 2. So this can be written as 3 sine 2 theta, okay. Now you just have to integrate sine 2 theta from 0 to pi by 2. So what is the integration of sine 2 theta? It is cos 2 theta, okay, minus cos 2 theta by 2. So let's do that integration, substitute the limits. So it's like this, 3 cos 2 theta, okay, there is a minus as well, by 2, and then 0 to pi by 2. So when I put the upper limit, okay, so let's put this minus out. So it's minus 3 by 2. Cos pi is minus 1, cos 0 is 1, okay. So this and this cancels, there's a minus. The answer for this question is 3, okay. The answer for this question is 3, that is option B. Okay, let's go to the next problem. So what's the next problem? What is the largest eigenvalue in modulus of the matrix, that is this, with an initial vector 1, 1, 1 transpose by power method? So now what we usually do is, right, so matrix A is given to us. Matrix A is given to us this way, and there is a initial vector given to us. Let's assume that initial vector as V0, okay. So let's find what is A V0, okay. So usually we go by this approach, that is Ax equal to lambda x. So this is our fundamental approach, that is Ax equal to lambda x. Let me find what is A into V0. So when I find A into V0, so this is like 1, 1, 1 here. So when I find A into V0, what I get is 5 plus 2, 7, and then 4 plus 3, that is 7 plus 5, 12, and then 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 9, 5 plus 9, 14. So this is what I get. So let this be V1, right? So what I have done is I have multiplied this initial vector with this matrix A. What I got is A into V0. This you have to imagine as lambda x, okay, because this is like A V0, you need to imagine as what? Lambda x. Now what I do is next I'll find V2, which is like A V1, okay. So it's like A V1. What is A? So this is A, and V1 is 7, 12, 14. So I need to multiply this with this, this with this, this with this, and then whatever I get I need to compare with lambda square x. Why am I comparing with lambda square x? What is in the place of V1? You can write like this, V1 is nothing but A V0, which is like A square V0. So A square V0 can be compared with lambda square x, because lambda square is eigenvalue of A square. So when you compare this, so what happens? So I need to do the matrix multiplication here, this into this. So 14 plus 36 plus 28. So this is 78. So let's see what is this and this. 28, 36, and then 70. This is close to 134. 21, 24, 126. So this is 171. Now when you look at this, this is like lambda times the first component of x. This is lambda times second component of x. Lambda times the third component. Now what is this? This is like lambda square into the first component of x. This is like lambda square into second component of x. This is lambda cube into third component of x. So now when I take this by this, that is 78 by 7, I get approximate value of lambda, right? So let's see what is this, 134 by 12. So this will also give you approximate value of lambda. And then 171, that is 171 by 14. This will also give us approximate value of lambda. Now when I look at all these ratios, they are actually close to this 11.84. So therefore the answer is option A. So we usually have to iterate this for many number of times. Since it is engineering services exam where we have less time, so this is the best approach for this. So let's go to the next problem. So what is this problem? Now so far we haven't got any answer that is matching in this option, so we are going to challenge this problem. So let me go to the next problem. So what's asked in the next problem? The Taylor series the Taylor series for y of x. What's the value of y of 0.1? Okay, so what is given? Y dash is given, initial value is given. So now what is the Taylor series formula here? The Taylor series formula is y of x1 is y naught plus h times f of x naught y naught plus h square by 2 f dash of x naught y naught, right? You can actually take few more terms. Since it's a competitive exam, less time, we are going for the quadratic approximation. Now you substitute all this data like what? What is y naught? Y naught is 1, h is 0.1, f of x naught y naught is f of x comma y is x minus y square. When I substitute 0 comma 1 into this, what happens? So I get 0 minus 1 square plus 0.1 whole square by 2 into f dash. Okay, I need to find f dash. So what is f dash? F dash is the derivative of this, which is 1 minus 2y into y dash. I need this value at x naught comma y naught. Let me substitute that. 1 minus 2 into what is y naught? Y naught is 1. What is y dash? See here, if you are thorough with the Taylor series, y dash is nothing but f of x naught comma y naught, which I have already calculated here. This is minus 1. So how much is this? 1 plus 2, 3. So you need to put 3 here. So let's see what happens here. So this is 1 minus 0.1, and then this is like 0. So it's 0.01 into 3 by 2. Okay, so it's 0.015. Okay, 0.15. Now look at this. Try to add. This is 0.9. This is 0.915. Okay, is there any option close to that? Yes. If you include more and more terms, you get accurate result. The answer for this is option A. So let's look at the next problem. What is the shape of the curve represented by this? Just square it on both sides. X square by 5 square equal to 1 plus y by 2 whole square. Okay. So now if you rearrange this, you get x square by 5 square minus y square by 2 square equal to what? 1. It's a standard equation of a hyperbola. Okay. So we have a option of hyperbola here. Now we also have rectangular hyperbola. Usually what's the equation of the rectangular hyperbola? xy equal to some constant is the equation of rectangular hyperbola. There is no confusion. The answer for this is hyperbola. So let's look at the next problem. What are they asking? They gave a differential equation. They gave a condition. They're asking us to solve this differential equation. Let's look at the differential equation. 5 times dy by dx equal to 3 minus 2x. I can write x terms one side, y terms one side. It's a variable separable method. Integrate, you get the answer. So let's see what's the answer. 5 dy equal to 3 minus 2x into dx. Now let's also divide 5. So what is dy? It is 1 by 5 times 3 minus 2x into dx. Let's do the integration. So when you do the integration, what you get is y equal to 1 by 5 times 3x minus x square, that is 2x square by 2, which is simply x square plus c. They give us some boundary condition. What's that boundary condition? Y equal to 7 by 5 at x equal to 2. So let's substitute that. So what's the value of y? It's 7 by 5. So 7 by 5 here equal to 1 by 5 into 3 into x, that is 6 minus 4 plus c. So this is 2 by 5. 2 by 5 going the other side. 5 minus 2 is 5 by 5. The value of c is 1. Okay, the value of c is 1. Let's put the value of c into this and see what's the right answer. So I have 3x by 5 minus x square by 5 plus c. Okay, so do you have any options like that? 3x by 5, 3x by 5 is there, 3x by 5 is there, and then minus x square by 5 is there. There is only one option here, and then the value of c is 1. So the answer for this is option A. So next we have Aptitude faculty, that is Kishore sir, taking this session.
Evening students. The first question in the aptitude. Most serious students are happy students and most serious students go to graduate school. Furthermore, all students who go to graduate school are overworked. Which of the following can be properly inferred from the statements above? Now we try to solve this question with the help of Venn diagrams. Most serious students are happy students. So I do it like this. So I do it like this. Most serious students, MS, most serious students are happy students. So most serious students are happy students. MS stands for most serious and H stands for happy students. And then, oh, this 1 minute. Now, most serious students are happy students. So here, right. Most serious, MS stands for most serious. Most serious students are happy students. H stands for happy. And most serious students go to graduate school. So most serious students go to graduate school. Graduate school are represented by G. And then furthermore, all students who go to graduate school are overworked. All students who go to graduate school are overworked. That means G should completely come under overworked. So G will completely come under overworked. Overworked. Okay, now let us look at the options. Most overworked students are happy students. Now you can see happy is only a small part of overworked. Happy is a small part of overworked. So first conclusion is not correct. Second one, we will come back to the second option later on. Third one, all overworked students are serious students. Now serious is a subset of overworked. MS is a subset of overworked. So all overworked students are serious students. We cannot say that. So third option is also wrong. Then the fourth option, some unhappy students go to graduate school. In the question, nothing is given about unhappy students. So we cannot conclude anything about unhappy students. So the fourth one is also wrong. Now coming back to the second one, some happy students are overworked. Now you can see happy and overworked have a common area. This set happy and this set overworked have a common area. So we can definitely say some happy students are overworked. So our answer is the second option. Okay, now let us go back to the next question. So this is our next question. Jessica has 4 children. 2 of the children have blue eyes and 2 of the children have brown eyes. And half of the children are girls. Okay. Now the most important point to solve this problem is totally 4 children are there. Out of them, 2 of them are boys and 2 of them are girls. And 2 children have brown eyes, 2 children have blue eyes. But who are the children who have blue eyes? And who are the children who have brown eyes? Are the 2 boys having blue eyes? Or 2 girls have brown eyes? Or 1 girl and 1 boy have brown eyes and 1 girl and 1 boy have blue eyes? That is not given. It is simply mentioned that 2 children have blue eyes, 2 children have brown eyes. But who are those 2 children who have blue eyes or brown eyes? Are they girls? Are they boys? That is not mentioned. So that is the most important point in this problem to solve the question. Okay, right. Now let us go to the options. At least 1 girl has blue eyes. Now I clearly told you who have got blue eyes, girl or boy, or both girls or both boys. That is not given, so you cannot conclude first. Then second one, 2 of the children are boys. Now Jessica has 4 children and out of 4, half of them are girls. So if half of them are girls, the remaining half of them must be boys. So if 2 girls are there, the remaining 2 must be boys. So I can conclude second one. First one cannot be concluded. Second one can be concluded. Then third one, the boys have brown eyes. We can't say anything about the third because who are the 2 children who have brown eyes? Who are the 2 children who have blue eyes? That is not given. Are they boys? Are they girls? That is not specified. So we cannot conclude the third one as well. So out of these three conclusions, we can only go for the second. So our answer is A. Okay? Come, let us go to the next question now. This is our next question. Children are in pursuit of a dog whose leash has broken. James is directly behind the dog. Ruby is behind James. Rachel is behind Ruby. Max is ahead of the dog walking down the street in the opposite direction. As the children and dog pass, Max turns around and joins the pursuit. He runs in behind Ruby. James runs faster and is alongside the dog on the left. Ruby runs faster and is alongside the dog on the right. Which child is directly behind the dog? Now, let me represent the initial position. Now, this is dog. Here a dog. And dog is moving in this position, in this direction. Now, who is behind the dog? James is directly behind the dog. So, behind the dog, James is there. I already gave you the direction. And behind James, who is there? Ruby is behind James. So, Ruby is behind James. And then Rachel is behind Ruby. So Rachel is behind Ruby. So first dog is going, behind the dog James, behind James Ruby, and behind Ruby Rachel. And Max is ahead of the dog, but in the opposite direction. So Max is here. Max is ahead of the dog, but he's walking in the opposite direction like this. He's walking in the opposite direction like this. Now, when these people pass like this, when these people pass behind Max, then Max what he does, when he sees these people going behind the dog, he too joins them. Max also joins this queue. When he sees these people going behind the dog, Max also joins this queue. Then what? Here, Max turns around and joins the pursuit. That means Max also joins that line. Now, he runs in behind Ruby. So here, next position I will tell you. The final position, dog is here, dog, and then Max turns around and joins the pursuit. He runs in behind Ruby. So when Max joins, he joins here. When Max joins this queue, he will join here behind Ruby. It is clearly given. Max turns around and joins the pursuit. He runs in behind Ruby. That means when Max joins this line, he runs in behind Ruby. That means Max will join the queue at this place. Okay? Then what? James runs faster and is alongside the dog on the left. So James is running faster. He comes along the left side of dog. So James will be here. James will be here left. James will be here left. Then Ruby runs faster and is alongside the dog on the right. So Ruby is on the right. Whatever I'm drawing now, this is the final position. Okay, James runs faster, so he comes beside the dog on left side. And Ruby also runs faster and she comes beside a dog on the right side. Then if James comes here and Ruby comes here, after Ruby, who is there? Max. So Max will come here. And after Max, here it is Rachel. Rachel. Actually, Max is behind Ruby. Behind Ruby and James. But James has come on the left side of the dog and Ruby has come on the right side of the dog. Then Max will be exactly behind the dog. And what is the question here? Which child is directly behind the dog? Now, since James has come on the left side, Ruby has come on the right side, then the next person behind the dog will be Max. So the answer is Max here. Max is the answer. Come, let us go to the next question here. The baseball game, Henry was sitting in seat 253. Marla was sitting to the right of Henry in seat 254. In the seat to the left of the Henry was George. Inez was sitting to the left of George. Which seat is Inez sitting in? Okay. Now here, Henry was sitting in 253. So Henry is sitting in seat 253. Now I take this as right side and this as left side. Okay. Now Marla was sitting to the right of Henry. So Marla is here. Marla is sitting to the right of Henry, and that number is clearly given as 254. That means this is the increasing order. 253, next 254, next 255. Then in the seat to the left of Henry was George. So left of Henry is this side and George. So if it is 253 here, here it must be 252. Okay, and Inez was sitting to the left of George. So Inez will sit to the left of the George. We are taking this side as left and that side as right. Now this must be, if this is 252, this one must be 251. So Inez is sitting in seat number 251. So the answer would be 251. Okay, come, let us go to the next question now. The difference between simple interest and compound interest on a sum for 2 years at 8% when the interest is compounded annually is 16. If the interest were compounded half yearly, the difference in two interests would be yearly. So here, if interest is compounded yearly, the difference is 16 rupees. If interest is compounded half yearly, what would be the difference? That is the question. Now in this problem, first we find out what is the principal. And to find out the principal, this is the formula, difference into 100 by r whole square. And remember, this formula must be used only when difference between simple interest and compound interest for 2 years is given, where compounded annually. Okay, now principal difference is 16 into 100 by r square. R is 8 into 8, and when you solve these, you get rupees 2,500. So principal is 2,500. Then what is the simple interest for 2 years? Simple interest for 2 years is, for each year it is 8%. So 2 years put together, it is 16%. So 16% of 2,500 is 400 rupees. Then compound interest. Compound interest for 2 years, compound interest for 2 years. Now, first 6 months, it is 100 rupees. First 6 months, 100 rupees. Why 100 rupees? 4% of 2,500 is 100. Okay, then second 6 months, it is 100 again. Then 4% of 100, 4 rupees. Then third 6 months, again it is 100 plus 4% of this sum. 4% of 204, which is 4.16. Then next 6 months, again 100 plus 312.16, that is 12.48. 4% of 312.16, and this will come to rupees 400, and this is 8.16. So 12.16, and 24.64. So it is rupees 424.64. So simple interest for 2 years is 400 rupees, and compound interest for 2 years, first 6 months, second 6 months, third 6 months, fourth 6 months, put together rupees 424.64. So the difference is 24.64. This is the answer. So the next question. A library has 2 books, each having 3 copies, and 3 other books each having 2 copies. In how many ways can all these books be arranged? Okay, in this problem, a library has 2 books. There are 2 varieties of books. So let one variety be A and other variety be B. And 3 copies, having 3 copies, and 3 other books each having 2 copies. 3 other books mean 3 other varieties. So let there be C, D, E. So totally 5 different types of books are there. A is 3 books, B also 3 books, C 2 books, D 2 books, E 2 books. This is what given. So in how many different ways we can arrange this? Now 5 different types of books, A, B, C, D, E. So if you first take A, so first number can be taken in 5 ways. So this can be taken in 5 ways. So totally 5 places. So the first place can be filled in 5 ways. Second place can be filled in 4 ways. The third place can be filled in 3 ways. Fourth place can be filled in 2 ways. And fifth place can be filled in 1 way. So totally they can be arranged in 5 ways, 5 factorial ways. 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So that is 5 factorial. 5 factorial in the sense 120. So the books can be arranged in 120 ways. Okay, and A has got 3 copies, and all the 3 copies are similar, so we need not be worried about this 3, 3, 2, 2, 2. Okay, right. Now let us go to the next question. 21 mango trees, 42 apple trees, and 56 orange trees have to be planted in rows, such that each row contains same number of trees of same variety only. Minimum number of rows in which the trees can be planted. Now, you have to plant these trees taking minimum number of rows. If you want to take minimum number of rows, the number of trees in each row should be maximum. And what is that maximum number of trees in each row? That is given by maximum number of trees in each row. Maximum number of trees in each row. In each row. And this is nothing but HCF of 21, 42, and 56, and that is nothing but 7. So each row should have 7 trees. Then what is the total number of rows? Therefore, number of rows equal to 21 by 7 plus 42 by 7 plus 56 by 7. So this is 3, this is 6, 9, 9 plus 8, totally you get 17. So minimum number of rows will be 17. Okay, now next my colleague Rajesh will take on from here to explain the aptitude questions. Thank you.
Okay, friends, next. A general wishes to draw up his 36,562 soldiers in a form of the solid square. Solid square means number of rows, number of columns equal. So that and columns x and x. So 36,562. So x square is equal to 36,562. Okay, what is the nearest value? What is the nearest value of the x? So after nearest value of the x, okay, after nearest value of the x, 36,562, after nearest value of the x, what is the given question, friends? After arranging them, he found that some of them are left over. Some people are left, okay, according to the square. So how many people are left? Simply meaning, so what is the nearest square of the 36,562? So it is the nearest square of the 191, and the remaining numbers are called 81 people. These 81 people left from the square. Okay, next. A tank can be filled by the 20 buckets, each of the capacity 13.5. Next. If the capacity of the each bucket be 9 liters, okay, if the capacity of the each bucket 9 liters, how many buckets will fill the same tank? So here you can remember, number of times we discussed in our classrooms. Here you can consider volume should be equal or work should be equal. M1 D1 is equal to M2 D2 rule. Okay, so 20 buckets, 13.5. Next, 9 liters, so how many buckets? Okay, 9, 1.5, 2.5, 30. So answer 30. Here volume should be equal. Okay, very easy question, so, but you read the question carefully. Bus. Next. One side of the rhombus is 10. Okay, already mentioned, okay, in our classrooms. So one side of the rhombus is 10 centimeter and one of its diagonal is 12. The area of the rhombus, simply area of the rhombus of D1, D2. Okay, so first of all, what is the condition? Sides and diagonal. What is the relation, friends? So 4a square is equal to D1 square plus D2 square. So 4 into 10 square. D1 square. D1 square means 12 square plus D2 square. After the simplification, D2 square, 400 minus 144 256, then D is equal to 16, D2. So area of D2, of D1, D2, of D1, 12 and 16. 260, 6 16, so 96. So what is the answer, friends? Option D is the answer. Are you getting? Everything is very easy question. Okay, next question. Two boys began together to write out a booklet contain 817 lines. Okay, 817 lines. The first boy starts with from the first line, writing at the rate of 200 lines an hour. And the second boy starts from the last. He writes 81 pages, so on backward, proceeding at the rate of the 150 lines an hour. Simply meaning, friends, do you remember? In a time and distance, one of the topic trains in opposite direction, relative speed. Opposite direction, relative speed, always addition. Okay, remember. So a total distance means 817 pages. So opposite direction, relative speed, always addition. Okay, next. So total distance you consider as 81 pages. Relative speed, opposite direction, 200 plus 150. Simplify, 2.334 approximately hours. You can consider anyway, your wish. So compare with the top or compare with the bottom. Suppose compare with the top. 2.334 into, compare with the top means 200 pages per hour. So simplify 466.8. I mean approximately next page, 467th page. They meet at 467th page. Concept is relative speed, friends. I mentioned number of times in our classrooms. Okay, and last. Rohit spends 40% of the monthly income remaining on, rest on, okay, remaining on, rest on, that concept we discussed. Rohit spends 40% of his monthly income on food item and 50% is the remaining on clothes and he conveys. Saves the 1/3 of the remaining. You can remember this point. Saves the 1/3 of the remaining. Okay, 1/3 of the remaining. First of all, what is the remaining value? Remaining value based on our logic, initial value into 100 minus x by 100. Do you remember? I think. Okay, 100 minus y by 100, direct step, like etc. Okay, for remaining value, 1/3 of the remaining value is his saving. Okay, so 1/3 of the remaining. So here, what is the saving? 19,200 every year. So this 19,200 is per year. So per month. Okay, per month. 12 ones, 12 six. Okay, so 1600, 1/3 of the remaining value is salary. So 1600. What is the remaining? 1/3 of remaining value. Initial value we don't know. Okay, initial value 100 minus 40 by 100, that 40. 100 minus 60 by 100 minus 50 by 100. Equal to 1600. 1600. Okay, after the simplification, we are getting the answer 16,000. Okay, and the remaining topics covered by Mr. Jairaj sir, my colleague.
Dear students, I am happy that you have sorted out all the questions. I am going to highlight just 3 questions, 61, 62 and 63. Couple of years these questions have not been raised, and I think students you might have been bewildered what are these questions. But I have imparted these classes in these questions in the classes in the form of critical reasoning. Just I would like to go through 1, 2, 3, that there are 3 questions. You please check your answers. I think most of you have attempted these questions. They are quite a bit easy, students, provided you understand little bit of logic. Here we go. So help me to go through the question first of all, then I'll go through the options, then I'll give the solution, students, right? Shall we read the question first of all? Here we go. Some environmentalists question the prudence of exploiting features of the environment. Students, try to understand the word in critical reasoning, such areas, some environmentalists. In logical reasoning, you need to understand the terminology. Be careful about it. It is only some, not all. Right? Some environmentalists question the prudence of exploiting features of the environment, arguing that there are no economic benefits to be gained from forests, mountains, or wetlands that no longer exist. The simple reason is, maybe if I have to go with the explanation, maybe perhaps a river is dried. What is its benefit? Maybe sometimes the mines have been extracted and it is left. What is its benefit? Maybe deforestation. What is the benefit out of it? So some are arguing, environmentalists arguing, it's very clear that there are no economic benefits from these which are no longer in existing. So these environmental features which are no more, there is no economic benefit from them. However, many environmentalists, try to understand the word many now. It's not all, please. Such terminology have to be taken into account, please. Claim that because nature has intrinsic value. So one group says that it has no benefits, economic benefits. The other says the very nature has intrinsic value. The river has its own value. Right, students, like? Or any environmental features has its own value even after doesn't exist anymore. It has its own value. Because nature has intrinsic value, it would be wrong to destroy such features of the environment, even if the economic costs of doing so were outweighed by the economic costs of not doing so. In other words, intrinsic value is more than the economic value. That is the question, students. And which one of the following can be logically inferred from the passage? So it's very easy. 2 groups argue. Some say that it is no longer exists as no economic benefits, but others say it has intrinsic value is more than the economic value, students. Here we go. Let us see the options. It is economically imprudent to exploit features of the environment. Now here, it is a portion of the whole paragraph. It is a general statement that they are making, students, like it is economically imprudent to exploit features of the environment. There is nothing mentioned about economic factor in this argument. So therefore, this is not the right option, students, like, okay, right, just wait. So it is a general statement, I can say, it is a general statement. Talked about economic factors. Option B, some environmentalists, let us look at the word some, students. Some environmentalists appeal to a non-economic justification, that is true, intrinsic, in questioning the defensibility of exploiting features of the environment. Now you see here now, some environmentalists are appealing to a non-economic justification. Have just given some, for your convenience sake, students, like now. Now let us see option A, just I have done that for your convenience sake. This is a general statement and it doesn't include the economic factor. The economists say it is wrong for a specific case, not for every case, like, okay, that is eliminated. Now option B, most economists. Now you see here the word some, and from which I am just drawing most economists appeal to non-economic justification, that is intrinsic value people. So they say that some environmentalists are saying that most of them are saying that it has intrinsic value. What are they saying? While questioning the exploiting features of the environment, so most economists appeal to non-economic. So both the groups have come here now. So definitely there is something about inferring from the argument, students, like non-economic justification, intrinsic value. So they are questioning the exploiting features of the environment, definitely. And we can infer the word some from many. Try to understand this. We can infer some from many, students, like. So just wait. Let me see the best option availability of the answer. Let us see. Most environmentalists appeal to economic reasons in questioning the defensibility of exploiting features of the environment. When you are mentioning the word something about some, then how is the word most? So this again has a question to be raised, students. You see my option here now. It is actually contradicting the argument. So let us not take about this option, students, like. Let us see. Many environmentalists provide only, the moment you come across expressions like only, are they talking about only a non-economic justification in questioning the defensibility of exploiting features of the environment, right? So no, there can be other factors sometimes. So therefore, you see here, it is actually, okay, D, the word only. Now this is what my question is now. Let us be very careful about the word, students, like only. The word only is strong word and cannot be inferred from the above premises. There can be other factors. So students, like, so therefore even D is not the option, your answer. So therefore the right answer is that some environmentalists appealing to non-economic justification. Who is non-economic justification, like? The environmentalists who are talking about the intrinsic value. So both the groups have come here now in the defensing of the exploiting features of the environment. So this is absolutely the right option, students, like. This is the best inference that we can draw. What is inferring, students? To draw some conclusion. To infer means to draw some kind of conclusion. In other words, you are reaching some kind of opinion. So what is the best opinion that we have drawn is option B, students. Shall we go with the next question now? Right. So the demanding the time factor again, students, like, I need to rush. So let me just go with the next. So options have been given for your kind perusal. Please go through them and digest it now. Okay, right? Here we go with the 62 questions, students. Again, the word, let us see, such words in my class I have already explained about the words like some. From all we can draw some, but from some we cannot draw all. Some argue that laws are instituted for what purpose? At least in part to help establish a particular moral fabric in society. So yeah, something about moral fabrication, like. But the primary function of the law is to surely to help order society. So there is one word, ordering society, so that its institutions, organizations and citizenry can work together harmoniously, regardless of any further moral aims of the law. Indeed, the highest courts have on occasion treated moral beliefs based on conscience or religious faith as grounds for making exceptions in the application of laws. So what is the best inference that we can draw here is that, so laws have been instituted for what purpose? Like fabricating the society. However, sometimes the judiciary need not take only the law framed ones, but they also take sometimes benefit of doubt, sometimes we call it as, on basis of religion, on the basis of faith also, they can take the principles, and accordingly the judgment is imparted. Like, so the best inference that we can look into, students, like look at the options here now. The manner in which laws are applied sometimes takes into account the beliefs of the people governed by those beliefs. Like, absolutely this is the one, students, like. So let me just wait for this one. Let us see. The law has as one of its functions the ordering of society, but not divide of moral. So the word divide is making us a little bit of conscience here, like, but whereas the paragraph says even you take the faith and moral also, right? Number C, actions based on religious beliefs or an moral conviction tend to receive the protection of the highest courts. Now this is again, I am having a suspicion here now. How can moral conviction tend to receive the protection of the highest courts? Like, that passage does not talk about that. The way a society is ordered by law should not reflect any moral convictions. But the paragraph says sometimes it even takes the moral convictions about the way society ought to be ordered. So this is again contradicting the argument, students. Please go through the options. I'll just explain it. Option A, this correct answer is largely a paraphrase of the last sentence. If you have seen that, students, like, therefore this is the right answer. Okay, right, here we go now. Option B, while the author certainly agrees with the first part of the sentence, in the second part of the phrase, divide, I talked about moral aims, is too strong to be supported by the information in the stimulus. The last sentence indicates that morality has some effect on the law and invalidates the divide claim now. So therefore, divide claim. So how can, option C, this is an exaggerated answer. Although the last sentence indicates that religious faith has been grounds for making exceptions, like it can take the exceptions on the application of law. The stimulus does not indicate that actions based on, so therefore this option also we can easily eliminate, students, right? Now we'll move on to the last one, the last question, students. Kindly go through the options and I think you can easily understand. I've given the answer. Unlike newspapers in the old days, so it's talking something about the newspapers. Today's newspapers and televised news programs are full of stories about murders and assaults in our society. So there is a comparison going on between the old days newspaper and today's newspaper. So today's newspaper televised all program stories about murders. Do you mean to say the old papers did not to talk about the murders and stories like? Let us wait and see now, right? So violent crimes in one can only conclude from this change that violent crime is now out of control. So today it is out of control. And to be safe from personal attack, one should not leave one's home except for absolute necessities. It tells that today crime cannot be controlled. So one has to be very careful. So when one has to go, when the need demands, one has to go, not every time as and when he likes. So which of the following, if true, would cast the most serious doubt on the conclusion now? So the conclusion, what is the most serious doubt like? Which means this is strong, most serious doubt means strongly weakens. So what is that strongly weakens the argument, like strongly supports and strongly weakens the argument? We have to go against the argument, students, like. So there are two things about olden days newspaper and today's newspaper. Olden days, he says, as though they did not talk about many. Let us go through the options and check. Newspapers and televised news programs have more comprehensive coverage of violent crime than newspapers did in the old days, students, like. Okay, let us see that. He says, it seems to be it is supporting the argument. Newspapers and television programs have more comprehensive coverage, violent crime, than newspapers did in the olden days. Olden days they did not do. Let us wait. I just want to check with other ones. We have to weaken the argument. Weaken means like going against the argument. National data show that violent crime is out of control everywhere, not just in the author's city. So let us just see, students, now. Violent crime might have been out of control since old days, no doubt. Only that media didn't cover it well in those times. Like, don't you think that in the old days there wasn't any crime? There was a crime. But only thing that As we have today media, every now and then it reports, but in those days there wasn't any media as such. So therefore they did not report much. Let us see why option B, conclusion compares today versus old days, that is okay. Not author's neighborhood versus everywhere. You see that data shows violent crime is out of control everywhere, not just in the author's society. So it is not author's neighborhood versus everywhere else, like, so therefore we can eliminate this option, students. And again you look at the police records show that people experience more violent crimes in their own neighborhoods than they do outside their neighborhoods. Like, what does it say again? Like, where the crime is committed is irrelevant. Like, we are not talking about where the crime is committed. Like, crime is committed everywhere, but we are talking about certain places like neighborhood and all. See there, police records show that people experience more violent crimes in their own neighborhoods. Are we interested in their own neighborhoods? They do outside the neighborhood. We are not concerned about the place. So therefore, C is not the best option, students. Like, right? Let us see now. Therefore, this is both are eliminated. Last one, students, like, murder comprised a larger portion of violent crimes in the world days than it does today. It is going too much. It's very narrow, talks only about murder. It is talking only about murder. But we have to talk about the crime aspect of the society that it did not highlight, students. Like, so therefore, D is again the wrong. And so why it is weakening the argument is that we have to understand here, like, they are covering more comprehensive coverage of violent crime than newspapers did in olden days. So I want to say that even in the olden days there was crime, but only thing is they did not report. That is going against the argument, that is weakening the conclusion, students. Now, well, students, have taken a little bit of time, go through the answers and check yourselves and be confident that you might have attempted and you can cut a very good figure in the examination. Now I invite Sir Venkateshwarlu, ICT sir, so that you will go on with the next further questions. All the best. God bless you.
So now we are going to see ICT based questions from this ESE 22 examination. Look at the first question. So overall, we have 9 questions here. Among them, the first question is, this is the question which is from ICT Tools and Technologies. Look at the question statement. Which one of the following are the well-known routing attacks on IoT? Option A, it is mentioned clone ID and Sybil attacks. Option B, it is selective and reversing attacks. Option C, it is packet reversing attacks. Option D, frame selective wide attacks. So the answer for this question is option A, clone and Sybil attacks. So the basic importance of this Sybil attack is for destroying the network resources by copying or else by gaining a duplicate MAC address. And the importance of this clone ID, see the clone ID attacks in the sense identification is being copying here. Whatever the original node we are having, that original node is having some identification number, that identification number can be copied. So that is the way how it is exploiting the transmission here. So that is what clone ID attacks and Sybil attacks. Along with these attacks, we are having other attacks also, like rank attacks and wormhole attacks, black hole attacks, and sinkhole attacks. These are all several attacks which can be done in routing with respect to this IoT. So next, coming to the next question, which is, this is the question from ICT in networking topic. Look at the question statement. Which one of the following layers in the OSI reference model is concerned with transmission of unstructured bit stream over a physical medium, deals with the mechanical, electrical, functional, and procedural characteristics to access the physical medium? Option A, transport layer. Option B, network layer. Option C, data link layer. And option D, physical layer. So if you recall OSI reference model, we are having sender system and receiver system. So this sender system is configured with 7 layers, like application layer to physical layer, and receiver system also configured with application layer to physical layer. And we know that the physical layer data transmission is in terms of bits. So these bits, when it comes to the channel, these bits are going to be, let's say if the bit is 1010, might be these bits are going to be appeared in the channel like in terms of voltage signals. So this is what it is saying, see, electrical. So these are voltage signals in the sense electrical signal. So hence this is the responsibility of physical layer here. So option D is the answer for this question, right? Look at the next question. So this is the question which we have from again ICT in networking only. Coming to the question statement, which one of the following systems is used when there is a rigid time requirements on the operation of a processor or the flow of data, and thus is often used as a control device in a dedicated application? Option A, real-time systems. Option B, a distributed systems. Option C, a parallel systems. And option D, a serial systems. So look at this point. What is the crux of this particular question is rigid time requirements. So this is based on, this is the system which is the feature of real-time system. It is the feature of real-time systems. So real-time systems, you are having 2 types of systems. One is hard real-time systems and another one is soft real-time systems. So these hard real-time systems are exactly time bounded, but these soft real-time systems can allow some time delays. These we use in the banking sector, and these we are using in air traffic control systems. So these hard real-time systems are having this time rigid constraints, right? So hence the option A is the answer for this question, right? Look at the next question here. So coming to this question, which one of the following servers is a tool that allows an information provider to prepare indexes of unstructured documents and allows users to search these indexes with natural language questions? Option A, name server. Option B, terminal server. Option C, wide area information server. And option D, file server. See, the main point of this particular question is indexing, and the next one is information provider. So if you verify these two, you can easily opt the answer as option C, which is wide area information server. So this question is also from ICT in networking itself. Okay, right. So look at the next question. So which one of the following protocols is designed to provide privacy between the two communicating applications via a client and server? Option A, data link layer protocol. Option B, physical layer protocol. Option C, secure socket layer protocol. And option D, session layer protocol. So what is the answer? See, look at here, it is mentioned that the protocol is designed to provide the security. This is what the main privacy means. Here security it is speaking about. So it is speaking about the security as well as it is also speaking about integrity also. So integrity as well as security, both should be provided here. Okay. So the answer, I mean the protocol which is providing this security and integrity for the communication between any two parties is done by secure socket layer. See, the real-time example for this is, nowadays you are accessing some URL addresses, like let's say if you type www.google.com in your address bar of the web browser, then immediately you can find https://www.google.com, right? So if you get that https, which means that your web browser is making a secure connection with your web server. If you are having only HTTP, then it is not a secure connection. It is not the feature of this secure socket layer protocol. But if you have HTTP, then you can say that you are having a secure connection from your web browser to your web server, that is enabling by this secure socket layer protocol, and it is part of transport layer. Okay, right. So option C is the answer for this question. Next, coming to the next question. So this is the question we have from ICT in education. So coming to the question statement, which one of the following is an advantage of branched or intrinsic programming type or style in ICT based teaching and learning process? Option A, large frames reduce the time of learning. Option B, there is a possibility of guesswork. Option C, it is very expensive to provide so many audio visual aids. And option D, revise and redesign at a frequent intervals is difficult and expensive. See, if you recall, it is mentioned that advantage of intrinsic programming. So here, if you verify B, C, D, these are the options which are limitations here. These are the limitations of intrinsic programming. These are the limitations of intrinsic programming, and this is the advantage, or else you can say that characteristics of the intrinsic programming. Okay, option A is the answer for this question, as these three are the limitations for this intrinsic programming, and this is the only advantage among the given options. Okay, hence option A is the answer for this question. Right. So let's move to the next question. Yes, this is also from ICT in education topic. So coming to the question statement, which one of the following learnings is a teaching approach that engages the students in sustained collaborative real-world investigations? Option A, project-based learning. Option C, cooperative learning. Option C, collaborative learning. And option D, outcome-based learning. See, the crux of this particular line is real-world investigations. It means the real-time projects. So we are doing the real-time projects, which means that is based on, that is project-based learning only. Option A is the answer for this question, no doubt in this, right? Because it is mentioned that real-world investigations means real-time projects. Okay, right? Option A is the answer for this. Look at the next question. So which one of the following schemes is used for radio stations within the same region where each radio station has its own frequency? Option A, space division multiplexing. Option B, frequency division multiplexing. Option C, time division multiplexing. And option D, code division multiplexing. So which one is the answer here? As it is mentioned, radio station. So directly you can answer option B is the answer for this, because this frequency division multiplexing we use in TV and radio broadcasting. This is we used in TV and radio broadcasting, and space division we used in the satellite communication. And code division multiplexing, time division multiplexing we are using in ISDN and PSTN networks. And code division multiplexing we are using in wireless laptops adapters we are using. So wireless laptop adapters, or else you can say that in modems. So in these we are using this code division multiplexing. As the question is mentioned at radio, you can say directly option B is the answer for this. Okay, right. So look at the next question. So the AES key expansion algorithm takes as input a 4-word key and produces a linear array of. This is a slide question. It is the property of this particular AES, which is Advanced Encryption Standard Key Expansion Algorithm. It is taking the input of 4 words and it is giving the output of 44 words. Okay, so 44 words is the answer for this question. So these are the questions we have from ICT. I hope you are all clear with these questions. Thank you. So now I would like to invite Neelima madam to discuss about the rest of questions. Thank you.
let's look at the current issues questions, the current issues of national and international importance related to social, economic and industrial development. Around 18 questions were asked this time. Last year it was 17 and now they are 18 questions. The first, so set A questions we're talking about. Question number 20. So let's look at the first question. There's the 20th question. Which one of the following policies is concerned with changing the supply of money stock? So when we talk about supply of money stock, give me a moment. So when we talk about supply of money stock and the rate of interest for the purpose of stabilizing the economy at full potential output level. So which of the policies, whenever we talk about money, it is always about the monetary policy. See, first two questions when we see, let me just... Give me a moment. Oh, so there was a slight technical glitch there. All right. So when we talk about supply of money, it is the fiscal, it's not the fiscal policy, it is the monetary policy, because that talks about supply of money. Fiscal policy talks about fiscal deficit. Obviously, these two are wrong. By the way, all the detailed explanations and solutions will be given in a separate video. So as of now, I'll be going a little quickly. I'm not going to go into detailed explanations, okay? So the answer here is the monetary policy, and monetary policy is given by RBI. And what does the monetary policy talk about? It talks about supply of money and the interest rates and so on. So repo rate and all of that, that comes under the monetary policy. So the answer is C here. The explanation is also there. You can go through it. The next question, which one of the following is not covered under the International Labour Organization Declaration on Fundamental Principles and Rights at Work? So this comes under, you know, the standard which we talk about, the international organizations, right? So this is about labor because we have industry as one of the topic. So the first, the second and the third, all three are right. The fundamental principles does not talk about migration. So the answer, so the question is, mind you, which of these is not covered? So be cautious about that. So the answer is D, all right? The explanation is here. You can go through the explanation. And if you look at the categories, if you see, it is freedom of association and collective effective recognition of the right to collective bargaining, then elimination of forced or compulsory labor, abolition of child labor. These are the categories, okay? Child labor and the elimination of discrimination in respect of employment and occupation. So there is nothing about migration here. Next one. DRDO has successfully test-fired the subsonic cruise missile Nirbhaya, where it was in Odisha. Okay, so that was the 8th test flight of the missile. The next question, the Khel Ratna Award. Previously, it was called as the Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award. Now it is called as the Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award. Yes, so this was started in the year 1991-92. They give a medal, a certificate and a cash prize, but the cash prize is 25 lakhs. So this is not right. This is right because Vishwanathan Anand was the first recipient and it was called as the Major Dhyan Chand Award. So the answer here, which again is not correct. So the answer here is B. And whatever I've said, it is written here and it is announced annually. It's the highest award which is given in sports, announced by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. Next one, how many Indian companies have found a place in the 2021 Fortune Global List? It is 7 in number. So that's the most important list when it comes to Fortune companies. It is based on their business revenue. It's measured on their business revenue. So you can see in India, Reliance falls number 1, followed by SBI, Indian Oil, ONGC, Rajesh Exports, Tata Motors, and Bharat Petroleum. Top global companies, Walmart is number 1 for years together now. I think some 16 times or so. It's retained its number 1 position in the world. All right, the next one. Which of the following is not important? Again, not important. Initiatives under ESE 4.0. Now, ESE is, these are reforms for the public sector banks, that is the government banks, which talks about smart lending. Just let's look at the explanation. So we're talking about public sector reforms there, okay? So, and then it has been implemented by the Indian Banks Association, and these are the key areas. These are the key areas, if you see. So you're talking about digital lending, mobile, internet, banking and customer service, date-enabled agriculture financing, and collaborating with financial ecosystems. So if you see here, all these 3 fall into place, but not this, because this one is Financial Inclusion Index that is given by RBI for financial inclusion. It measures financial inclusion, right? So therefore the answer is D, which is not an initiative as part of ESE. Next question. Which one of the following statements is not correct regarding the Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority, which is in short PFRDA? So if you see this here, they have changed 65 to 70 years. So again, which is not correct. So all other statements are right except the first one. So the answer is A, okay? Because it is up to 70 years. Next question. World's largest sapphire cluster has been found in Sri Lanka, Ratnapura. So it's also called as the Serendipity Sapphire, which has been entered in the Guinness Book of Records. Okay. Next question. Consider the following statements regarding cybersecurity multi-door trust fund. So let's go to the explanation here. So the World Bank has announced this trust. Okay. Who? The World Bank. And what is this? This is for understanding, this aims to better define, understand, articulate, structure, and roll out the cybersecurity development agenda in a systematic manner. So this has been there, or this has been launched recently by World Bank, and it provides all of this. Capacity development, global knowledge, countries assessments, technical assistance, capacity building and training, and all of that. And this is being possible made by the contributions of Estonia, Germany, Japan, and Netherlands. So all of these statements are right. Therefore, the answer is 1, 2, and 3. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Consider the following statements regarding hydrogen breakthrough iron making technology, which in short is called hybrid. Let's look at the explanation here. So this is in short called hybrid. And the goal is to have a solution for a fossil-free steel. Mind you, in steel, the technology that we used is blast furnace technology, where coal and coke is used. So instead of using that, we are talking about using a process wherein it will be fossil-free energy resources, that is renewable energy resources will be used. So instead of carbon emissions, we will have carbon dioxide and water vapor. That is the idea. So and that's why this is called as green steel. So this is done for the first time in Sweden by this company, SSAB, and the first one has been given to Volvo. So the answer here is, as we see, it is 2 and 3, because here steel produced with using coal, it is not with, it should be without. Next one. US-based Ohmium International has started India's first green hydrogen electrolyzer manufacturing unit at Bengaluru, Karnataka. That's the answer. So you can see the explanation here. It is proton exchange membrane hydrogen electrolyzers. And that about the factory, you can go through it in the detailed explanation there. Next one. which one of the following ministries has repealed the unmanned aircraft systems? Unmanned aircraft systems, also called as what? Drones. So in March, we had the rules for unmanned aircraft systems, and then they got liberalized, and now we have, again, because they felt it was too rigid, and therefore they have repealed that, and we have come up with new laws which are called as the liberalized drone rules. Okay, so the answer here is, who has given it? Ministry of Civil Aviation. Next question. Consider the following statements regarding Forum for Decarbonizing Transport. So whenever we talk about decarbonizing transport, we are talking about no GHG or less GHG emissions. So electric vehicles, for example, right? So the answer here is all of the three. All the three statements are right. Okay, so Niti Aayog, along with the World Resources Institute, is implementing this. Next question. Which of the following national parks has become the first national park in India to be equipped with satellite phones? And that is the Kaziranga National Park in Assam, wherein to protect poaching of one-horned rhinos. So that's the answer. A is the answer. Next question. Which of the following cities has been named as the world's safest city among the 60 global cities in the Safe in Cities Index given by the Economist Intelligence Unit? The answer is the capital of Denmark, Copenhagen. All right, so there we go. That's the answer. And about the index, if you see, they are based on 5 pillars, which is digital, health, infrastructure, personal, and environment. So this is how they are ranked based on these factors. So India, if you see, Delhi and Mumbai are in the index, and the others, as you can see here. So Copenhagen is the world's #1. The next one, the first ever G20 Ministerial Conference on Women's Empowerment was held in Italy, in Santa Margherita, Ligure. So the G20, the Group 20 countries on women empowerment. So we had Smriti Irani, who is our minister, who has actually participated in this summit, which talks about addressing gender-centric issues and through mutual cooperation of all countries. Next question, we're talking about which of the following countries did the Indian Navy participate in the US Navy-led Southeast Asia Cooperation and Training, that's called CCAT military exercises. Now India, we participate in a lot of these defense exercises, be it military, Air Force, or the Navy. So the answer here is, where was this held? This was held in Singapore. Okay, so that's about it. And the last question, which is a statement question, statement 1 and statement 2, wherein you have to reason it out. So social involvement discourages additional government regulation and intervention. What is social involvement? When you have personal involvement, or you have the government or institutions which are involving, it discourages additional government regulation. No, it doesn't discourage, it encourages government regulation and intervention, because at the end of the day, social well-being is important. Second, so this first statement is false. Second statement, social involvement can create a weakened international balance of payment situation. It may, it can weaken. When we say balance of payments, we are talking about the net resultant of imports and exports. So sometimes it so happens that due to certain laws of the government, or due to certain imposition of certain things, social involvement can make an impact in balance of payments. So this is right. Therefore, statement 1 is wrong, statement 2 is right. Therefore, the answer is D. Okay, so the answer is D. Thank you. And with this, we conclude all the solutions for paper 1 of General Studies and Engineering Aptitude. Thank you so much.